Welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into a mystery that honestly feels exactly like a cinematic American horror story. We're talking realistic, deeply human characters caught up in this wild, emotional narrative, all set against the backdrop of a massive, abandoned-feeling Victorian mansion. So, picture this. It's one of the absolute coldest nights of winter in the isolated village of Ashwood. The wind has completely died down, the streets are totally empty, there's this dense, freezing fog settling over everything, and the silence is just so heavy that our protagonist, a guy named Ethan Carter, can actually hear his own breathing echoing through the halls of Blackwood Manor. Now, Ethan is sleeping in this giant, drafty second-floor bedroom. He's exhausted, right? Just completely pulled into a deep, dreamless sleep. But, as you'll see, in a place like Ashwood, buried in eerie moonlight and old secrets, deep sleep never really lasts long.
Suddenly, a deafening crash just completely shatters the silence of the manor. Ethan's eyes fly open. The south-facing window of his bedroom slams wide open completely on its own, and this freezing blast of winter wind rushes in. But here's what's truly terrifying about this moment. It's the sheer physical impossibility of it. Ethan turns his head, and someone is standing right outside that window. It's a woman. Her figure is pale, mist-like, almost entirely transparent. And Ethan's throat just goes totally dry, because there is no balcony outside that window. None. There's no ledge, no staircase, nothing. No human being could possibly be standing there suspended in the cold winter air. With shaking hands, he grabs a flashlight and points it right at the glass. For just a split second, the moonlight catches her face. He recognizes her instantly, and then, poof. Just like that, she disappears.
Now, Ethan doesn't freeze in terror like most of us probably would. His instincts just completely take over. He sprints out of the room, races down the grand, sweeping staircase of the mansion, and bursts out the front door into the freezing night. The cold doesn't even register. He runs straight into the garden, stopping dead in his tracks right beneath this massive, ancient oak tree. And there she is. The woman is waiting for him, totally motionless in the dense fog. Her face is hidden in the dark, but Ethan whispers her name, Amy. The second she hears his voice, she approaches and reaches out her hand. Almost like he's under a spell, Ethan reaches back. But pay attention to this crucial detail, because this isn't your typical violent ghost story. When he tries to hold her hand, his fingers pass right through hers. But she does leave something behind. She gently drops a physical object right into his palm before her misty body just dissolves into the night air like drifting smoke. Back inside under the light, Ethan opens his trembling hand to find a silver locket. It's the exact same locket he had given to the love of his life, Amelia Blackwood, years ago.
And this brilliantly illustrates the agonizing cycle Ethan finds himself trapped in, because this wasn't just a one-time encounter. No, every single night this terrifying yet profoundly sad sequence repeats itself. The mechanics of this haunting are just relentless. His deep sleep is violently broken, the window flies open, Amy appears outside, she vanishes, only to reappear beneath that ancient oak tree to hand over the silver locket. But here is the most heartbreaking part of it all. Every single night, when Ethan tries to keep that locket safe, it completely vanishes by sunrise. It's as if the object doesn't truly belong to the world of the living anymore. Days turn into weeks, and Ethan is finally forced to accept a horrifying truth. Amelia Amy Blackwood is dead. Her trapped spirit is desperately trying to share a truth with him, and until he understands what she's trying to say, she is never, ever going to find peace.
Let's dive into part 1, 30 years earlier, and the origin of the haunting.
So Ethan had actually left Ashwood Village when he was just 20 years old. Returning now, 30 long years later, he finds a town where the dirt roads and the local people have aged and withered, but the heavy, traumatic memories of his youth are still perfectly intact. To really grasp what happened, we need to understand the world Ethan and Amy grew up in. Ashwood Village was a place deeply, deeply divided by wealth. On one side, you had Jonathan Blackwood, Amelia's father. He was the richest, most powerful, and frankly, most ruthless man in the entire county. He owned the grand estate, the businesses, all the influence. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum was Ethan Carter's family. They were terribly impoverished. To the powerful elite of Ashwood, the Carters were practically invisible. They weren't welcome at community gatherings. They were looked down upon simply for being born into poverty. Every single day was a harsh reminder to Ethan that he did not and would never belong in their world.
But Amelia, she was different. She was Jonathan's eldest daughter, sure, but she absolutely didn't share his cruelty. She'd spent time studying in Boston and returned to Ashwood with these kind, egalitarian ideas that the rigid town just wasn't ready for. She treated the rich and the poor exactly the same. She actually started talking to Ethan, a boy her family wouldn't even look at. Friendship turned into long walks, and those walks turned into a deep, secret romance.
Standing beneath that very same ancient oak tree we saw earlier, she once held his hand and told him, "Somewhere people judge us by who we are, not by where we came from." They dreamed of escaping, finding a small house, and just living a quiet life far away from the toxic environment of Ashwood.
But, as you can imagine, in a town that small, secrets never last. The day Jonathan Blackwood discovered their relationship, he unleashed absolute chaos. And this all happens in a matter of frantic hours. During the day, the romance is discovered. Jonathan immediately locks Amy inside her bedroom at the manor. By sunset, Jonathan drags Ethan's family into the town square, publicly humiliates them, and orders them to leave Ashwood forever. Ethan plans to wait for Amy to escape so they can run together, but deep into the night, Ethan's childhood friend, Jacob, pounds on his door. Jacob warns him that Amy has vanished. Jonathan thinks Ethan kidnapped her, and armed men are on their way right now. At midnight, Jacob helps the Carter family escape through the dense, dark forest. And by morning, Ethan's childhood home is burned completely to the ground. Literally, if they had stayed even one more hour, they would have been killed.
So Ethan and his family fled to the city, leaving their entire lives behind them. Ethan worked grueling construction jobs, eventually building a highly successful, stable life working for the government. But no matter how much time passed or how much success he found, there was this one agonizing question constantly burning in the back of his mind. What really happened to Amy? The villagers of Ashwood spread rumors that she had simply run away with a secret lover. But Ethan knew her heart. He knew the truth. She never came with him into the forest that night. So if she didn't run away with him, where exactly did she go? That unanswered question, burning for 30 years, is what finally pulled him back to the misty, cold streets of Ashwood.
Which brings us to part 2, the return to Ashwood and a dark truth unearthed.
The universe definitely has a dark sense of irony. You know that abandoned Victorian mansion Ethan is staying in, where the ghost visits him every single night? He actually owns it now. Yeah, he purchased Blackwood Manor from Jonathan's youngest son, Victor. Victor had inherited the family fortune, but completely squandered it. He became a severe alcoholic, gambled away everything, and sold the estate to Ethan without ever even recognizing the face of the impoverished boy his father had driven out of town. 30 long years had passed. Just think about how much time that is. 30 years of rumors, 30 years of silence, and 30 years of waiting. While walking through the village one evening, Ethan happens to pass by the old general store and hears his name. He turns to see an older man with gray hair and a deeply weathered face. It's Jacob, the very same friend who saved his life on the night of the fire. They embrace like brothers, and later that night they sit down together inside the heavy, shadowed walls of Blackwood Manor.
After Ethan explains everything that's been happening, the nightly haunting, the silver locket, the ghost under the oak tree, Jacob just goes completely silent. And then, Jacob reveals a terrifying piece of the puzzle. He tells Ethan a story about Victor Blackwood. A few years ago, Victor was at a local bar in the village. He got incredibly drunk, completely lost control, and in the middle of the night, he started screaming at the top of his lungs.
Now, the villagers just brushed it off as the ramblings of a hopeless alcoholic. But Jacob? He remembers exactly what Victor yelled. He yelled, "I didn't even spare my own blood. Who do you think you are?" Jacob looks Ethan straight in the eyes and explains his horrifying realization. Victor wasn't just drunkenly ranting. He was confessing. He was talking about his own sister. The room falls dead silent as all the pieces finally click into place for Ethan. Every strange event, every icy draft, every desperate visit from Amy's ghost. It all makes perfect sense now. She didn't run away. She was murdered by her own brother.
Ethan stands up, his heart just pounding, and asks Jacob for his help one last time. They form this urgent, desperate plan. Step 1, meet at Blackwood Manor at exactly 3 a.m. Step 2, Jacob is to bring shovels. Step 3, he's to bring only the people he implicitly trusts. And Step 4, together, under the cover of the cold winter night, they are going to march out into the fog, walk right up to that ancient oak tree where Amy's ghost appears every single night, and they are going to dig. Jacob doesn't ask a single question, he just nods and says, if Amy has been waiting for 30 years, tonight we'll finally uncover the truth.
Which leaves us staring out into the freezing cinematic fog of Ashwood Village, right alongside Ethan and Jacob, gripping our shovels at 3 in the morning. We know Amy's ghost has been tethered to that specific spot, handing over a silver locket that vanishes with the sunrise. We know Victor confessed to spilling his own blood. But as they break that frozen earth beneath the roots of the ancient oak tree, we're left with one final, chilling thought. What exactly are they going to find buried down there in the dirt? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this deep dive into the mystery of Ashwood Village leaves you as thoroughly captivated and honestly, maybe a little spooked as I am. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.